Saints Church. How are you? Man, I'm so glad to see you guys. We are back for another exciting day and time with each other and time to fellowship. So, are you guys ready to have some fun? And well, to do that, we're going to get up and we're going to warm up and we are going to praise and worship. Who's ready for that? Yay! See you guys in a bit. Enjoy!
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. Sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. This is living now. You're right beside me. In your love I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now.
Wow, praise and worship was fun, right? But for today's story, have you guys seen this movie?
That's right, fool.
Yeah, you have. That's Donkey in Shrek. He can talk and he can fly, right? Well, there was another donkey in the Bible and it belonged to Balaam. So let's go check it out in that story and I'll see you guys after that. How about that? See you just now.
As scouts from the land of Moab watched the multitudes of Israelites moving toward their territory, they feared the worst. They had heard about the God of Israel and what he did to deliver this peculiar people out of Egypt, and they had witnessed the destruction of other neighboring inhabitants who stood in Israel's way. They knew it was just a matter of time before Israel would challenge them too. When the king of Moab received word of the impending danger, he quickly came up with a plan that he hoped would weaken the threat. There was a man named Balaam who was well known to have magical powers. It was said that he could invoke divine blessings, but that he could also cast destructive curses on anyone he chose. So the king sent messengers carrying great treasure, hoping to secure Balaam's services in cursing the people of Israel. Balaam was pleased at the gift and proud that his prestige demanded such a price. "I will talk to the God of Israel," he told the king, "and tomorrow I will let you know what can be done." But God was not pleased that Balaam was conspiring with the enemy to curse his special people. So he spoke to Balaam, "Do not go with the messengers to curse my people, because I have blessed them." But the king persisted, and promised even more treasure, an offer Balaam could not refuse. Balaam got up early in the morning and began his journey to Moab. He was so focused on acquiring the great reward offered by the king, he could not see that God stood against him. He could not see that an angel of the Lord stood in the center of the road waving a sword in the air with the intent to kill. The only one to see the terrific sight was his faithful donkey. In terror, she ran off the road, refusing to press forward, and finally threw herself into a wall, crushing Balaam's leg. Still blind to the danger, Balaam repeatedly beat the poor donkey for resisting him. Finally, the donkey collapsed to the ground in despair, hopeless to communicate the threat to her master. But just then, God performed a miracle and gave the abused creature the ability to speak her mind. "What have I done to you that you would mercilessly beat me this way?" she cried out. Balaam, still blinded by gain and now further blinded with anger, spoke back to the donkey. "Because you mock me," he said. "If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." The donkey continued her plea. "In all the years you have ridden me, have I ever once done anything like this?" The mad sorcerer thought for a moment, then replied, "No." All at once, God opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel standing in his way, sword in hand, ready to kill. He fell on his face to the ground. The angel spoke to him. "Why did you continue to beat on your donkey? I have been sent here to stop you, and if it weren't for that poor creature fighting to avoid me, I would have surely killed you, but spared your donkey." Balaam confessed, "I am wrong. If you want me to, I will return." But the angel commanded him to go and warned him, "Only say to the king exactly what God tells you to say." 3 times, and in 3 different places high on the hillside, the king pressed Balaam to cast the destructive curse against the people of Israel. But Balaam could only speak God's words, and God's words were only blessings. All the wealth, power, and determination the enemy could muster could not overcome the intense love God had for his beloved people, and God's great act of turning the enemy's curse into a blessing would not be his last. One day he would send a Messiah who would destroy Satan's curse and deliver all of mankind once and for all.
Welcome back. That was a fun, exciting story, right? A bit strange, right? I mean, imagine an animal that talked back to Balaam just as he was busy whipping it with his whip, and the animal's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" That was crazy, right? Could you imagine if your dogs also did that? Imagine one day you trying to tell your dogs to stop licking your face or stop biting your leg, and then you're like, "Hey, stop it," and the dog's like, "Why?" That would be weird, right? If the dog talked back to you, hey? So, and it got me thinking, what other animals do you know that can speak to people? Are there any animals in the world that we know of that can actually or are able to speak to people? Well, I did some research and I found out that some animals in the world can be taught how to speak. So, here's the first one that might surprise you, and it surprised me. So take a look at this. What is that animal? Do you know what that is? Well, that is a whale. Yes, that is a whale. It's not a dolphin, it's a whale. Do you know that whales can be taught how to speak? They are able to recognize human speeches like we can. Although it would be very strange to see a whale talking. What will the whale say? "This is my water and I'm the only one that can swim." Nah, what will the whale say? It would be very strange, right? And another one that can speak, this might not surprise you because they make movies about this. This one here. That's an ape, right? An ape can speak. And there was a movie made long time ago called Planet of the Apes, where all these apes came and took over. But that's not going to happen because it's all in movies, right? And so an ape can also speak, but what would an ape say? Think about it. Would it go, where's my bananas? I want my bananas. That'll be funny, right? Because, apes, we only think of apes that eat bananas, right? And another one that you might be familiar with is this one. That is a parrot. Well, parrots copy and repeat what we say. So which of you have a parrot that copies you? And if you do, I would love to see that. Maybe take a picture or a video of your parrot talking back to you, or maybe if it just nods with you when you talk to it or interact with it, that would be very cool to see. Now, here's my challenge for today, boys and girls. What other animals do you want to be able to speak back to you? And I thought, you know what, since we're in Africa, I would want a lion to speak. And, not like the Lion King, because they can speak in that movie, but in real life. What will a lion say if it could speak? Would it walk around going, I'm the king of the jungle? It would just roar all the time, hey? And what about your dogs at home? Would you want your dogs to talk back to you? Would it be more fun to play with them if they could actually talk back to you? How cool would that be? Well, boys and girls, with the story in the Bible of Balaam's donkey, that donkey could only speak because God made it possible. So animals don't actually talk like you and I. So that was a miracle that God did. However, wouldn't it be cool if He did that now again today with your animals? Imagine you playing with your cat and it just, instead of saying meow, it says, dude, I'm gonna put fur all over you, right? And if you said to your cat, why do you have so much fur? And your cat says, because it's cute and I can purr. What would you do if your cat did that? That would be funny, right? So, what animals would you like to be able to speak or you would like to teach? I think it's going to be a fun thing if you could demonstrate that to your friends and family, or even right there now at Children's Church while you're sitting and watching this. Maybe your teachers could let you do this. What animals would you like to be able to speak? And let us know what you think they would sound like, eh? How cool would that be? That would be fantastic. Well, boys and girls, that was fun, right? I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And I'm about to go now. I'm going to see you for another exciting show next week Sunday. Bring your friends, bring your family. It's going to be a ball and I can't wait to see what else we're going to be talking about. So with that said, goodbye!